Assalamu alaikum. Dear students, welcome to the APS online teaching system. I am Sharjeel Ahmed Qureshi as always, here with the sixth lecture of our online biology class series. So without further ado, let's get started with it. For the recap of previous lecture, we discussed about the biological methods of solving a problem. We learned that there are 7 major steps in solving a biological problem or any other scientific problem in general. The steps we learned were recognition of biological problem, observation, hypothesis formulation, deduction, experimentation, summarization of results, and finally reporting of results. So in today's lecture, we shall practically implement all the steps we learned in the previous lecture and will study about the case of malaria. What I mean to say is that we shall see how the cause and therapy of malaria was discovered using biological method. Moreover, we will also look briefly at a short topic where we will look about theory, law and principle. Okay, before we go into the details of how malaria was coped using biological method, let's have a very brief look at the disease itself. So malaria is a very common disease prevalent in many countries of the world, mainly developing countries, including Pakistan. This disease is characterized by excessive sweating, high fever and chills, especially at night. The main agent that causes this disease is a microorganism called Plasmodium. Now here is a simple concept that I would like to clarify. We have always heard that malaria is caused by mosquitoes, isn't it? But that's not true. Mosquitoes are only the source of spread of this disease. Anopheles to be more precise, as you can see in the skin. This particular type of mosquito is called Anopheles. This is the species, the genus of this mosquito is called Anopheles, and this is involved in the spread of the malaria. But what causes the disease is the microorganism called Plasmodium. Does not cause the disease. Mosquito only spreads the disease. What causes the disease is a microorganism called Plasmodium. I hope you understood this simple concept. So before the real cause of disease was known, it was believed to be caused by bad and unhygienic air, thus giving it its name, which is you can say you can translate this name as the mal means bad and area means air. So mal and area combined together malaria. ठीक है? So how come we discovered Plasmodium and mosquito to be involved as cause of this disease rather than bad air? By using biological methods, and we shall discuss them in detail today. So dear students, let's recall the first step of biological method from my previous lecture, which was recognition of biological problem. So we have already recognized this disease to be the problem, thus there is no need to mention it separately. The second step was making the observations regarding the biological problem. So our problem, which was malaria, gave us the following observations. Malaria and marshy areas have some relation. Marshy means an area having a lot of standing and stagnant water. स्टैगनेंट मीन्स खराब पानी, जैसे रुका हुआ पानी गंदा हो जाता है ना और उसमें बदबू आने लगती है और उसमें कीड़े मकोड़े पड़ जाते हैं, तो उसको स्टैगनेंट वाटर कहते हैं. स्टैंडिंग एंड स्टैगनेंट वाटर. ठीक है. Second observation that was made was that warm and humid regions have more malaria, यानी गर्म और नमी वाले इलाकों में ज़्यादा मलेरिया पाया जाता है. Thirdly, quinine is an effective drug for treating malaria. Now, quinine is a herbal medicine which is actually obtained from plants, and it is effective in treating high fevers. Moving along, we observe that drinking of water of marshes does not cause malaria, and finally, Plasmodium is seen in the blood of malarial patient. अच्छा, इस सब का क्या मतलब हुआ कि ख़राब पानी पीने से मलेरिया नहीं होता, मतलब ये कि ये पेट के जरिए नहीं फैलता. प्लाज्मोडियम जो है वो मरीजों के खून में पाया जाता है. तो किस तरह से ये खून में शामिल हुआ, इसकी कोई वजह तो होगी खून में, क्योंकि जो चीज़ आप खा रहे हैं वो ज़रूरी नहीं है कि वो आपके खून में जाके शामिल हो जाए. ठीक है ना. तो खून में कैसे आया ये माइक्रोबियल एजेंट, ये सब हमने बायोलॉजिकल मेथड से डिस्कवर किया और ये हम आगे जाके देखेंगे कि कैसे हमने ये सब कुछ किया था. अच्छा, so बेटा again recall the third step, which was the hypothesis formulation. So from the observation that were made, which you have just seen, particularly the presence of Plasmodium in patient's blood, a hypothesis was formulating stating that Plasmodium is the cause of malaria because it was observed that Plasmodium was only found in the blood of patient, so it could be the reason for the disease. Now I have said could be, as our hypothesis is not proved yet. We are still not sure whether it is true or not. We still have to prove it. Anyways, moving along, the fourth step was deduction. So what are deductions? I told you earlier that deductions are the logical reasons obtained from the hypothesis. यानी hypothesis की बुनियाद पर सवालात उठाने को deduction कहते हैं. So the most logical deduction from our hypothesis could be that if plasmodium is said to be the cause of malaria, then all malarial patients must have plasmodium in their blood, while healthy persons should not have it. Got the point? By the way, plasmodium looks like these elongated, you can say this pear-like shape of microorganisms in the blood. ठीक है ना? As you can see on the slide. Now here is the interesting part. In the previous lecture, I told you that deductions are made from hypothesis, and they are actually and further they are subjected to experimentation in order for them to be confirmed or rejected. यानी हम प्रैक्टिकली देखते हैं कि वाकई जो हमने सोचा है वो सही है भी या नहीं, और जो हमने डिडक्शन बनाई है वो वाकई सही है भी या नहीं, और ये हमें प्रैक्टिकल से ही जो है ना साबित किया जा सकता है. और प्रैक्टिकली देखने का क्या मतलब होता है? एक्सपेरिमेंटेशन, विच वॉज आर फिफ्थ स्टेप. So we must do experiment to prove whether our deduction is true or not. Same was the case with malaria. The biologists performed the experiments to confirm presence of plasmodium in malarial patients by testing blood of 100 malarial patients and 100 healthy individuals. Now here we have another question. That why do we need to test 100 individuals in the first place? For comparison. Comparison of healthy against unhealthy, and such individuals are called the controls. So what we found from those experiments is that plasmodium indeed was present in all malarial patients and it was absent in healthy individuals. Thus our hypothesis was confirmed that plasmodium is the cause of malaria. But that's not all. We must also address another issue, that how this plasmodium was transferred to humans in the first place. So in order to solve this problem, we again used biological methods and made following observations. People who slept outdoors were more likely to get malaria than those who slept indoors. Moreover, people who slept under fine nets were less likely to get malaria than those who did not use such nets. And finally, the individuals who slept near a smoky fire usually did not get malaria. So from these observations, we again made a hypothesis that mosquitoes transmit plasmodium and so are involved in the spread of malaria. Now remember, at this point, our hypothesis is still not confirmed, as we are not sure whether mosquitoes are really involved in the spread of malaria or not. So what should be our next step? To make logical deductions that can be tested. So the deductions that were made were plasmodium should be present in mosquitoes, and a mosquito can get plasmodium by biting a malarial patient. So that's logical enough, and it's a thing that can be tested. So what I mean to say कि इस hypothesis को हम लोग practically देख सकते हैं कि वाकई ये जो हम मस्कीटो के ऊपर जो है इल्ज़ाम लगा रहे हैं फैलाने का मलेरिया को, ये सच है भी या नहीं. ठीक है. So as I told you that in order to test the deduction and confirm the hypothesis, a biologist conducted the following experiment. A female Anopheles mosquito was allowed to bite a malarial patient. Mosquito was later killed some days later, and the plasmodium was found multiplying in mosquito's stomach. So thus our hypothesis was confirmed that mosquito was indeed the cause of malaria. Now all the data obtained from these hypotheses was combined to give us a complete insight of the disease as well as the cause of its spread. So that's how biological method was used to address both our questions regarding cause of malaria and cause of spread of malaria. These methods are used to address all the problems we encounter regarding any disease or any other scenario. I hope you understood the concept here. Anyways, moving along to the last topic, which is the theory, law and principle. Now a theory and a law seems more or less the same, as we shall see in the upcoming slide, but they do have a significant difference between them. अब जब आप एक हाइपोथेसिस बार बार मुख्तलिफ तरह से टेस्ट करते हैं और हमेशा सही साबित होती है, तो वो एक थ्योरी बन जाती है. यानी हम बार बार तजर्बा करते हैं और हर दफ़ा हाइपोथेसिस सही ही साबित होती है, तो हम इसको थ्योरी कहते हैं. अब एक थ्योरी को जब बार बार टेस्ट किया जाए और वो सही साबित हो हमेशा, तो उसको लॉ या प्रिंसिपल कहा जाता है. यानी वो यूनिवर्सली एक्सेप्टेड एक ट्रुथ बन जाती है, एक यूनिवर्सली एक दुनिया में हर जगह माना जाने वाला एक सच बन जाती है कि वाकई ऐसा ही होता है. ये साइंटिफिक फिनोमेना ऐसा ही होता है। तो जब इतना ज़्यादा एक चीज़ को एक्सपेरिमेंटली प्रूव कर दिया जाए तो वो एक लॉ या प्रिंसिपल बन जाती है और उसमें मज़ीद किसी किस्म के शक की गुंजाइश नहीं होती। So that's all for the lecture today. Here you go with the assignment for this week. I would recommend you all to attempt and send it to the relevant teacher at earliest. Here we have the terms to ponder section. Do look at them as well. Thank you so much, beta, and I will see you in the next lecture. Allah Hafiz.